Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Friend or Foe Esports Week 3, Day 1 of the Mythic League, and headed right into Game 1 on the night. On the blue side, we have Team EEK, and up against them on the red side, we have Rex Regalis. I'm psyched to get into this game tonight as we have a great lineup of games for you tonight. As always, walking you through these games, my name is Whirler, and casting alongside me tonight, we have Erebus.
Hello, everybody. Great to be here. Love Mythic. Love Whirler. Very excited to get into the draft.
We love you too. As we get into the bans, there's a few notable things. Twitch Yuumi taken off the table immediately for Team EEK. Meanwhile, Team EEK are throwing out Victor and Swain away from Rex. What are your thoughts?
I think the Yuumi's pretty essential.
Yeah.
Kongzi is more or less Team EEK so far. They have Oriri in the top lane, which, Oriri's great. His Alistar top lane is something of legend. But you gotta be careful for the Yuumi. So I love the bans. And then it looks like Team EEK's bans are more or less just kind of good compositional bans for Rex Regalis.
Very true. As so far, Seraphine's going to be locked in for Team EEK. That's a flex pick that can go probably more places than it should. With that being said, Rex Regalis, I only really ever see this champion in Mythic.
Yeah. Wash has actually had a lot of... Oh, we have a correction. Let's go. Joey is top, not Oriri. So,
which makes more sense.
Makes a lot more sense. We've had a lot of success with Seraphine mid. I think they might be doing that as well. I know Arena has been practicing it in Clash. She is very, very good at Seraphine.
Very good to hear. I'm excited to see it. As Misfortune Orin on the side of Rex Regalis, matched by Dr. Mundo for EEK. Very tanky top lane so far if that gets locked in. And for the side of MF, just a power pick that should be abused this patch.
Misfortune's pretty gross. I think she was in a great spot beforehand. She's in a better spot.
Good answer.
Ezreal's fun. Ezreal definitely gets a little bullied in lane, but I think Kongzi's probably the one person that's going to be able to kind of get rid of that disadvantage. Kindred is really interesting too.
Ooh,
I like the Rex comp. The Rex comp.
I really, something wants me to say this should just be a lane Kindred just for the fun of it. If we saw Kindred mid and Mythic, that would be exceptional. Because it was popular for a while in Diamond.
Yeah, and back in like 2015, 2016, Kindred AD carry was a thing, and it was a lot of fun. And I had a lot of fun on it. I saw Sven of Cloud9 fame get some maybe a pentakill on it, I believe. It was pretty crazy. But I don't know how it compositionally fits with Misfortune and Orin.
It's probably more bite than any help it'll do, especially with Kindred ult. Not really being the greatest synergy with Misfortune ult. With that being said, Mordekaiser Udyr being taken out from Rex Regalis, and Amumu and Silas are the response from EEK. Honestly, pretty decent bans all across the board. Strong picks that are just, honestly, I'm surprised. The only ban I would have replaced was Swain for MF, and that would be perfect. But Vi going to be locked in for the side of Team EEK. That will be most likely their jungler. And Janna being locked in as I want to say Janna mid.
I'm going to go ahead and say Janna support on that one.
No, never mind. Sorry, it's been a while since I played League of Legends. I forgot there was a Seraphine even locked in to begin with. Everything makes so much more sense. It's just, remember when Janna top became a meta for like a solid 5 weeks?
Yeah, that was gross. I played it once. I didn't have a good time. I didn't understand it, but it was very good and good players used it.
It would be exceptional to see it again, or especially on stage. But with that being said, Xerath is going to be the counter pick for mid lane. Decent compositions across the board. I'm really liking what Rex Regalis has so far, especially with the set mid. Now, honestly, this could go either way because Rex Regalis has a lot of flex picks. It could be set support, could be Xerath support, it could be set mid, could be Xerath support, could be really... honestly, I wouldn't even be shocked if Joshi pulled out Ornn mid.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of flex. I'd be very, very interested to see set support. I've seen it in solo queue a few times. Usually it goes very poorly, but I know it can work. Personally, I think EEK has the better draft. They have really good disengaged. Mundo's going to have a hard time dying, and they have a good way to cancel Misfortune ult with Vi.
Absolutely. Who do you think is going to take this game number one of the night?
I'm going Eek. I'm a Kongzi stan. I can't wait to see Ezreal played at a pretty high level. I played at a very low level, according to my teammates, even though I think it's pretty good. So,
Dang.
we're going to see if it's the Ezreal div.
There you go. I do like the Ezreal pick. It is a good scaling pick against the MF, and it will turn around come mid game. So I'm excited to see where that falls. I am really liking how Rex Regalis' composition's looking, so my vote's going to go for them. But with that being said, we're ready to get into game number one of the night, ladies and gentlemen, as we head out of Champion Select onto the Rift. These two teams are going to see if one of them is either going to tie or one's going to get a 4-2 lead.
So, what do you think compositionally they have to do in order?
Well, we have answers.
We do have answers. That's true.
It is set mid. So it's set
Okay.
mid Xerath support. We have a lot of information here now. And that was an absolutely beautiful transition, by the way, if I do want to add. We have brand new things we're bringing to Friend or Foe, ladies and gentlemen, as we are having a special way of loading onto the Rift. And this is exceptional to see. But to answer the question, the set mid, the Orin top, and Xerath support are where the flex picks will go. And honestly, it's making me like Rex Regalis' comp so much more. Actually, I'm really excited for when mid game comes around.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I'm really interested to see how they pilot the set mid. Set did take Ghost, which Ghost is a really strong rune right now. Once Seraphine has Lost Chapter, I'm not sure if Set's going to realistically be able to leave his tower.
This is very true. Seraphine mid is very push heavy. Going to be roaming a lot with the Vi, as I do expect. Ezreal's going to be pushed in pretty much the entire lane by Alk Battery and Smacks. And let's go Joey and Ornn. Really not much attention needs to be brought to that lane. So I can see Arena Thunder and XT making a lot of work mid and bot this game. Alk Battery with the legendary ultimate, actually, Misfortune skin. Don't get to see that one all too often. I'll be honest. There's better MMF skins, I will say.
I'm a big fan of the Ruin Misfortune skin. It makes all of her abilities almost impossible to see. Little pro tip for everybody.
I hate those mechanics. I hate
It's a pay to win skin, and I am going to pay to win whenever I can.
Okay. Well, with that being said, speaking of which, we have one of the most interesting mid lanes. So if you guys know me personally, you know that I hate Seraphine with an absolute passion because I'm a Sona main. So seeing Seraphine on any map is interesting to see. Paired against a set, I'm excited to see how that lane turns out in the grand scheme of things. Meanwhile, Let's Go Joey, a proud member of Friend or Foe, is taking the Rift this season on Mythic, and I'm excited to see. This is my first time seeing Joey in action, and I love this guy to death. So,
yeah, I'm definitely a big Joey fan as well. We had him on Team Wash. He came in for a few games. We got him his first official FOF win, actually. So I'm rooting for Joey. Let's go Joey for sure.
Let's go Joey is the name for a reason, as this game has started out like most Mythic games will, slow. So we're not going to expect too much action here at the beginning of this, but as objectives begin to spawn, motives begin to be had, I am lying to everyone's face. Arena Thunder gets hit very subtly with the face breaker, almost taking it, not burning any summoners on either side. Kindred is off to the side, could come in around to take out Seraphine, is going to opt not to. Not too bad for the start of the game.
Ooh.
And over the wall, Rafa's looking for
invade.
XT. XT's not letting it happen, is going to get smited away, not going to be able to have access to smite, to heal, is going to be able to flash away safely. Does have to expend it. Meanwhile, on the top lane, I'm just lying to everyone's face today. We have an action-packed wet noodle fight as Let's Go Joey and Bayor are both 1 HP after this trade. It did dodge out on the slow from Ornn. They were both just going to heal back up with potions and go back to top lane things. Wow.
Yeah, at the end of that, it looks like Rex Regalis came ahead with one summoner spell. Kindred got her mark in the bot side, which is actually very, very big. I personally find it very hard to get marks on Kindred in competitive because everybody just seems to have the most focus they've had in their entire life on making sure Kindred doesn't get stacks.
Right.
For the mid lane, Irina's just got to play a little farther back until she has the ability to wave clear, right? Set's going to be able to get on you, and you're just going to have to lose some CS. There's a little bit of pry on, just be aware of that until you can safely clear.
Does have the TP, doesn't lose out on too much XP or CS, is able to get back to mid lane very quickly with a tier now. The earlier you get that tier stacked, the better. So this is good looks for Irina as we are heading into the early game. And Vi going for a little bit of an invade, trying to look for camps or a route to Baora, who is still half HP up there. It doesn't look like Rafa is going to be able to counter gank this as well, as he's in mid lane. XT is behind Baora. Baora immediately Eing out, is going to be able to walk under tower without burning anything. XT going to just take that and leave. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Arena Thunder just getting pushed back to tower by Rafa.
Yeah, Ornn's gonna have to be pretty careful. He doesn't have flash this game, and he's not. Mundo's not the strongest person. He has looks like he has grasp.
No, I'm saying he, or you said
yeah.
not. I thought that's where you were going with that. I'm
No.
pretty sure that was a strategy on Ornn for a while, actually.
I was expecting Spellbook when I saw TP Ignite, but
Right.
without flash, Mundo doesn't do an insignificant amount of damage, and Vi has a lot of lockdown. So Baora is definitely going to have to be very aware of their positioning this game.
This is very true. Kong Shi is getting a good push on this MF, actually, and I was not expecting that, seeing an Ezreal lane. Good poke from the MF, and this Xerath Q, if it hits, it's going to be bad news for Kong Shi, but it is good, and honestly, coming out even CS in this lane is damn well good. Arena Thunder taking a trade in the mid lane, going to come out on top of that. Very, very well played, and very, honestly, for what it's worth, for a slow-ish start, very entertaining so far.
Yeah, no, definitely. Ezreal's got his ideal back of the tier and Sheen. I would have gone refillable potion instead of 2 health potion. A lot of poke coming out of that lane, and they were down potions. Misfortune went with the Doran's Blade and won. Kongzi went with the Longsword 3-pot, lost all 3 of them, had to back, no problem, pushed them in. But you are going to have to kind of a little more aware of your health pool, especially with the amount of poke and damage that bot lane has.
Oh, absolutely. And Joshi going forward with the Q move speed, looking for a face breaker, does not find it. Still has an HP advantage, Arena Thunder. So we'll take that for now. Doesn't land the poke. That ability is so big.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about, right? Irina can just stay out of range and just wave clear permanently, and Set's not going to be able to do anything unless Seraphine gets too close on accident.
Double support mid, omnipresent, making themselves present down bot lane or down mid lane, pushing in the mid lane. Going to narrow out the CS lead that Joshi had earlier, going to only be 10 behind. So narrowed it by 2, but it's still narrow. You take your victories where you can get them.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, CS is pretty even across the board, except for in the jungle role. XT's got himself a pretty healthy lead. Now, he is on the wrong side of the map for his camps to spawn, but I'm not sure that's going to matter unless Rafa invades right now. It looks like he might, and he does find the blue.
Hitting the blast cone. Blue's the only thing he could grab. Oh, Baora going for the ultimate on Let's Go Joey. Not going to get anything more than that. Is going to continue fighting Let's Go Joey. Going to turn around, pop the ultimate, and that is going to be that. He has the extra. He could have actually just straight up killed Baora there, I'm pretty sure.
I think Baora could have died, but, you know, maybe Joey wasn't aware where Kindred was, right? So that's a flashless Mundo. A little risky. I do think they would have been able to pull it off, but, you know, blue buff lost, trade for an Infernal Dragon. Not too bad. And it looks like XT is going to be grabbing possibly the entire... It looks like they're just swapping jungles right now.
It does indeed. It actually really does indeed. XT going to walk away with the smite, going to pull it almost out of aggro, but very well played to go ahead and assess
that Q's gross.
That. Level 6 does have access to the Assault and Battery, does pull it on Smack. Smack's taken very low. That could be it. Auto attack is going to be it. XT, flash healing out. Kong Ji is still in it, but he walks away with the first blood and no death. Very well played from Team EEK to secure first blood of the game. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Arena Thunder, Joshi going at it again, but let's look at that fight one more time.
I'm surprised this worked. I thought they were in a pretty safe position. Smax has heal and flash. Misfortune's level 5, though, so there's a lot less of a risk. XT played that very, very well. The heal came through at the right time, and Janna got the shields off when Janna needed to get the shields off.
Very, very well played from that bot lane jungle to secure that. Rafa trying to pick up a stack in here, or taking the camps right away from XT for that gank. Is quite low though, so isn't going to be able to take the whole thing. Does take the stack, so that is Kindred with 2 stacks now, or 3. I'm pretty sure total.
Yeah, I believe it's 3. Once you get the 4th stack, you feel a lot better. 4 stacks at 10 minutes is great. Ideally, you want to hit it at 15. So if
Right.
you can get, if you can get 4 at 15, you're in a pretty good spot on Kindred. However,
Absolutely.
the Kongzi carry train might have started. Got 1 kill, working towards that Triforce.
Yeah, Triforce Ezreal. That's a good one. I don't get to see Triforce Ezreal too often anymore, so definitely still a viable build. And I'm not gonna lie, I think it's the move this game with how really late game focused it's going to be. Doesn't need to do anything special early. Rafa getting the stack on the Crab. That should be number 4 at 943. So Rafa's at a good start with the stackage. Does get out unscathed too, so even better for Rafa. With actually, really only 2?
Only 2 stacks, not too bad, all things considered. Kindred, the best thing you want on Kindred is the enemy jungler to not have 5 kills while you're working on your teams. So things aren't looking the worst. I am interested in the Conqueror Ezreal. I think Ezreal has a lot of build diversity as an AD carry player myself. There's a lot of different, press the attack's great, first strike's great. But when you're expecting the game to go to 35, 40 minutes, Conqueror becomes extremely valuable.
Absolutely. And even first strike would still be great for scaling into late game. It helps you scale a little bit faster, gives a tiny bit more damage, but definitely Conqueror makes better use of the adaptive force in the later parts of the game. Both, I actually like first strike with Triforce because of how expensive those items are.
Yeah, no, first strike feels great. I think it's Ezreal's just fun. Ezreal has so many different builds.
So many. I fully agree. I'm glad we got the ADC cast going on. XT in the mid lane, flash forward with the charm, is going to secure it, and another ultimate from Set. Flashing out, but the airy and the red buff is enough to pick up Joshi. That one's going to go straight to XT, and he's going to make his way bot lane away. Joshi, my bad. I keep doing that every single time.
That was a great gank, and that was a little tragic on Joshi's part with the flash and the red smite tick.
And brings it straight to bot lane as well, going on to Smacks. The ultimate gonna pick him up. XT not looking too good. Smacks gonna go down as well. Alk Battery is going to keep his life. Does still have even CS with the Ezreal, but 2 kills on the board. The scaling is happening. Rafa searching for Kongzi. Kongzi in a bad spot right now. Has access to the E in a couple of seconds. There it is. No flash. Exhaust is at the ready. Doesn't opt to use it this time around. Will just give the shutdown to Rafa. And that's 2 big carries on each side.
That was great out of XT. You path mid, you get a fantastic kill, you burn a flash, you walk bot immediately, get another kill. Misfortune had a fantastic ult come out, hits everybody with everything. Not enough damage just yet, but Kongzi just caught kind of lazy backing. Janna back perfectly fine.
Here we go for Joshi again. He is going to be able to walk out unscathed. Is fighting for the ward. Does not win the battle, but we'll see if he wins the war later.
Yeah, and we have a Mountain Dragon coming up in 15 seconds. It looks like Rex might just be more interested in getting the Herald. Honestly, I think Mountain Dragon's a little more important this game.
100%, especially looking at either side. Those are just free stats that are useful for both squads evenly. I would assume there'd be a lot more priority on it than there is. But with that being said, Shelly has been started, first of the game. 4 members all up in this top side. Misfortune holding down the bot lane, 07 to her. And speaking of which, the exhaust is coming out. She pops the ghost to get out of there as quick as possible. Has access to the flash.
Clean.
Does not juke a single thing. Kongzi with the aim. Perfectly played by them. Pick up another 3rd kill for themselves with a Triforce.
That was Counter-Strike. I'd be calling for a little bit of a backband, maybe. Seems like the Qs can't miss. I'd be a little tilted personally. I know that when I get hit with Ezreal Q 2 or 3 times in a row, I feel like I'm about to just leave the game.
That is very true. Rift Herald's going to be popped into the mid lane as compensation for Rex Regalis, picking up plates on plates for their members. Less gold when it's spread, but still the same gold for the team. Baora stunning up Let's Go Joey with the spell shield back up. They're just going to pop the ultimate, and they're going to trade just as is. I don't think it's going to go any further than that. Rafa is here in the wings, ready to help Baora whenever. Let's Go Joey just going to push in the wave and take his win where he can.
I don't know about that ghost out of Joey. It seemed like it was popped defensively, but kind of offensively at the same time, and then nothing happened. Tank battle.
It's happened once before in this game, so I'm scared to see it again. Both Frozen Mallets are completed on both top lane sides. Very good Sunfire item, to be honest. Very cheap, very accessible. Honestly, like Sunfire Cape more in these sort of late game kind of games, but it's still passable, and it also applies utility.
Yeah, I definitely think Sunfire on Dr. Mundo is a little more valuable. Red, I know you're in chat. Let me know if I'm wrong. I don't play top lane. But it just seems like if you're going to be standing on people, Sunfire might be the way to go. And it looks like a bot lane focus kind of coming out of Rex right now.
Yes, it is. XT said, hey, that's mine. Gonna assault and battery Rafa. Rafa still has access to the ultimate, taken very low. Doesn't get a chance to pop it. Reads it way too soon. Janna in the fray, popping the shield, is going to be enough to take out Joshi. And that's going to be their jungle. They're claiming right back from Rex Regalis. What are you doing in here, buddies? This is our turn. And they also picked up the Mountain Dragon earlier as well. We are looking at Team EEK in peak form right now. At 6-1, they have a lead of that. You couldn't ask for a better lead right now.
I really don't know what to say about that invade. I mean, the idea's good, right? You get in there quickly. Maybe they didn't expect Vi on there, but they brought 2 people down. Kindred not popping ult there is a bit of a misplay, but regardless, your bot lane's not going to be able to respond in time, and you have the entirety of EEK coming down to make sure that XT gets his red buff. So that was not too good.
Absolutely. All of the gold on this team, too, is going to the 2 most important people in terms of damage. Vi and Ezreal with 3 kills apiece, an item completed, almost on the 2nd item for Ezreal. This is looking insane for the 2 of them. This is a start that you really want to see, especially for a late game scaling team.
It's looking really good. Seraphine also has her Mythic completed while Seth still's working on his. So there's no way that tower is going down unless they bring 3 people. It's low, but Seth's not going to be able to really realistically keep up with the CS. He's already down 20.
This is true. Seraphine, especially after getting the 1st item, has a lot more wave clear than Seth could ever dream of, even after finishing the Gore Drinker. Was that going to be... Is that Gore Drinker or is that component for Stormbreaker? Or, what is that
one is
called?
For Stridebreaker.
Stridebreaker. I almost called it Stormbreaker.
It breaks something, right? It's the blue item. It's the blue tank item.
Yeah, it does. And,
and then we have Swifties for Ornn.
That's
weird.
Interesting adaptation. Rafa going in for a gank on Arena Thunder. Arena Thunder not even going to be touched. As XC is coming back around. Charm's going to land. Assault and Battery going off as well. Joshi's going to flash away. Both TPs from the top laners coming in. The ulti is going to save Joshi. Ornn ult is going to be popped. The heal did go through. Joshi's in the fray. XT taken very low. This is looking pretty bad for Joshi as Let's Go Joey is on his ass. Shield is going out. Joshi taken very low. XT chasing them out. He's chasing them for a while. Kong Shi coming in to pick it up. That's going to be a kill going over. Only 1 kill in that fight. Ezreal ult is going out. Following not going to land. That is going to be that. Team EEK is going to take that, reap the rewards in the mid lane.
Irina, what was that healing? I thought XT was... I thought he went in way too deep. He was 5 health, maybe 3 times. Irina with the heals, Janna with the Janna ult. There's no heal reduction yet. That's just a tanky XT, and he is everywhere this game.
This is very, very true. Joshi coming back up, all 5 members. Dragon coming up in 35 seconds. These teams, really want to get back out there and get to this Dragon. This is going to be sole point for EEK if they're able to pick it up. TP in the mid lane from Seraphine is going to be able to get to the fray. Does have access to the ultimate, and I believe that's 15 seconds, so we'll have it in time. We are looking at a game, ladies and gentlemen. 3K gold lead for EEK so far.
I think that Rex is going to have to give this. They're not going to have Kindred ult. They're not going to have Set ult. They might not have Ornn ult. They aren't going to have Ornn or Xerath ult up in time. But they're posturing to fight it.
They really are.
I think it might just be time to give the Wind Dragon.
I think they're throwing it in the mid lane, though. If they really start that, they don't commit to it, which is good. XT is popping back into the fight. This is exactly what we need. Baora, shredded armor. This is perfect for them. Good charm from Seraphine is going to be able to pick up Rafa and will trade his life for it. But Joshi on top of Let's Go Joey is going to be a fight of the century. He is tanking up so much, but it's not going to be enough. And Misfortunal is able to shred him to pieces. Kong Shi, it's 1 for 1 so far, or 2 for 1 so far, win in the favor of Rex, and this is a good turnaround for Rex. Not too bad. They still will lose, they will lose the mid tower, but I think they've saved themselves a Dragon. Out battery, no. This is not looking good. They stuck around too long, should have given it up. That's exactly what they wanted, and Kong Shi is going to E forward and pick up his 5th kill of the game.
That was a 4v5 that went on for 40 seconds before Kong Shi showed up.
Huh. That I
Yeah.
actually didn't even
Yeah,
notice
look,
that.
Kangji's just hanging out, farming bot lane as bot laners do. XT's tanking everybody. Joey absorbs maybe 800,000 damage in the back lane while this is going on.
I
And
wonder
then
if that trigger was prematurely pulled by Team Eek.
I think it
You,
might have been. Maybe they just saw a really good angle and said, you know what, we got to go for it. I mean, it worked out. Kangji came in, cleaned up. They got a tower. They get Dragon. Pretty good
this is
result.
still a good result. XT and Irina gonna duo that. Dragon's gonna go down with no problem, no threat of a steal whatsoever. And so far, it's looking like Team Eek, even after it was a wobbly fight, but it still worked out in their favor.
Yeah, and the CS leads are kind of continuing to grow, albeit a little bit slowly in mid, but it's now a 30 CS lead. Bot has I think the majority of the gold leads got to be on XT and Kongzi, right? Yeah.
100%.
180 CS, almost a perfect 10 CS a minute. Yeah, it's a 3K gold lead, or 2.5K gold lead in the bot.
In the bot lane. Well, to Kindred's credit, not too far behind from XT, so that's good
surprisingly
news.
not too far behind. It looks like almost every single lane is even for the most part. I mean, save a few hundred gold. But that Ezreal is going to be hard to deal with. Ezreal is accelerated, got 2 items. It's going to be gross.
2-item Ezreal, has flash, has exhaust, is Ezreal, so really another flash. You're really looking at a strong 80 carry here. Alk Battery can be standing in the mid lane, wait for the 80 carry counterpart to push that forward, and for good reason, because Kangxi is just going to E forward and Q you for half of your health bar. Goodness gracious.
Now, I will say one thing that Rex has going is Misfortune's skin is better than the skin Ezreal picked.
Wait, what's the Ezreal skin?
I think it might be Striker Ezreal. It's not Porcelain Ezreal. I think Porcelain Ezreal is the best Ezreal skin.
Yeah, it is Striker. Oh, this is perfect. Assault and Battery on Smack's going to flash out, flash forward to follow. Another Q is going to pick him up. Alk Battery forced to flash away again. Q is coming back up from XT. Is going to throw it, is going to land, knock him out of the Ezreal wall, but still picks him up. Omnipresent, making themselves present again. Joshi is coming into the fray, ready to fight this Rafa too, but Rafa gets sniped away from Kangxi. Kangxi really just can't die, can't be touched, does not need to do too much, but sit in the back line and put some damage while XT does some work. And that's going to be a nice fight.
This is just tragic. You do not want to be getting tower dove in your base at 21 minutes.
No, you don't. That is bad news for Rex Regalis. Unfortunate for them. Team Eek are showing up. It looks like they are fighting for this league. Ornn fighting back with the ultimate. Gonna get rooted up. Not gonna be able to throw it back. Oh, Alk Battery almost picking up 2 with the ultimate. Going to be able to get out of that alive, and that's gonna be that. They're gonna be able to push out from that. Smack Alk Battery back to clear the way. Uh-oh.
Yep. Oh.
That's almost it. Another auto attack will do it. Stun up. That's going to be a throw and a half, and 950 gold going into Rafa's pocket. What was that?
Well, sometimes when you're ahead, you just want to see what you can do. That's a little bit of a limit test right there. It kind of worked. I mean, they traded 1 for 1. Obviously, you lost more gold on that play than you got. You burned your flash too, but it did look kind of cool, and that's all it's about, right?
Oh, absolutely. Displayed the skill that Ezreal displays very beautifully. As the quote himself, time for a true display of skill. I'm happy to see that we're having fun here. Yeah. 8 and 2 on the Ezreal, 3 items completed, has the boots, ready for the final 2 items. This Ezreal is online.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of been the Ezreal and XT show, right? I think XT's been doing everything perfectly this game.
100%.
Really, really great vibe plays. But, Irina, 50 CS lead, playing perfectly. No deaths. Joey, holding up top lane. Ornn's been more or less neutralized. And then Janna's been having great disengages. Everyone's doing their job perfectly, right? They're enabling the carries.
Following the carries very well. Good shield. Beautiful charms from Irina. This is just, they're playing absolutely perfectly. And Joshi going for the bait on XT, gonna pop the stopwatch, and that's gonna be that. Kangxi is going to get, flash face breaker, but a good charm save from Seraphine is going to get him out alive with a double kill. Smacks with the snipe, gonna secure him, but a double kill is Irina flashing back into the MFO is gonna trade. That one's very close. It's the Portal combat now, featuring Let's Go. Joey off to the side, popped the ghost to get down here. goes to lane Joey with XT behind them. They're going to be able to push up mid and set up for this final dragon that's coming up in 30. Assault and battery on Smack. That's going to be it for this. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Smack. They're going to be able to take another tower because of that, and Cloud Soul.
Honestly, that fight wasn't bad for Rex. It was a good counter engage. Ezreal didn't have flash. Joshi got off a great flash stun. The gold deficit's just a little too big for that to work. I think getting 2 kills is the best you can ask for. Unfortunately, everyone else did get picked up, but what can you do at this point, right? And then it's Soul point. Looks like they're just going to grab Soul.
It is gold that they're trading back, so that is good news for them. The quicker they can get their carries online, the quicker they can fight back, because they have a very, very tanky team just for this occasion. And with that being said, the last regular dragon of the game, rather, we still have elders, and I'm sure we're going to get an elder fight in here, but they're actually fighting back and trading Baron for this. I don't think they're having this at all. Bayora is taking up Let's Go Joey. Baron's taken to about half. XT and Kong Shi are off to the side, but Kong Shi is coming into the fight. Joshi with the ulti engaged. Let's Go Joey going to be able to pick up the jungler. Rafa going down. He's going to trade his life for it. It's 4v4 now. Smacks off to the side, very far away. Out battery frontlining. Going to be picked up by Kong Shi with the swiftness. Bayora quickly following suit. Going to get the knock-up on 2, though. It is going to be able to buy some time for Smacks and Joshi to be able to get alive. But good assault and battery from XT, stopping them in their tracks. Smacks not able to get out. Already burned the flash. That's going to be an ace for Team EEK. And they're going to be able to turn that back into a Baron.
Yeah, they get the. I like the play. Rex, they're down. You got to try the Baron. There's nothing else you can proactively do. They don't have enough DPS for it to really work. It almost kind of works, but EEK picks up Dragon, they pick up Baron, they pick up 5 kills. I think they're going to be able to close this out in 3 to 4 minutes if they actually focus on it.
This is very true. Ezreal throwing Qs off to the side, feeling a lot like Caitlyn right now. Baron's going to be picked up, and wow, Team EEK with a 10k gold lead at 26 minutes. That is impressively huge, and one of the biggest gold leads at the earliest time I've seen in a while. Out battery in the wrong neighborhood. Kong Shi camping a bush, ready to burst him. He's having fun. I don't think you forgot, ladies and gentlemen, Kong Shi came to play.
It sucks when you get bush camped one shot by Ezreal. I don't know. That's just not a great feeling. It's fun to watch, but man, I would be a little bit tilted.
Very much so. Flash forward, gonna E forward as well. Smack's gonna get scooped up. Bayora off to the side. They're going down 1 by 1. And Bayora is gonna be next on the list as XT on a rampage. They're gonna be able to bring it into the base. Let's Go Joey and Joshi holding up the bot lane. Joshi's gonna have to fall back immediately because we are in some trouble if you are Team Rex.
It looks like it's the end. It looks like this is spelling the end. Kindred has ult. They have their. Oh, that was an amazing charm.
Oh my God! Beautiful charm from Irina. The Rafa ult coming out, gonna pop, and so is Rex regardless of pop shots being thrown into the fountain. That's gonna be able to protect them as much as a fountain would. With that being said, that is going to be Team EEK. They're going to fight for this. Out battery flashing forward. Going to be very low. Kong Shi not letting it happen. Nexus at half health. They're still fighting. Smack's getting poke off as he can. Joshi doing sit-ups. Going to go down to the Seraphine Q. And that's going to be the end of the game. Team EEK taking game number 1 of the night.
That looked real clean from Team EEK. I know they've had some issues a little bit. Kong Shi. What was it? Nyla, without any sort of enchanter, didn't go great. It seems like when Kongji is able to be enabled, it's almost unstoppable. But I want to say XT and Arena played almost perfectly. I would probably give the MVP to XT just for the raw amount of pressure and the plays that were created. Like the entire bot lane lead came out of XT.
For the items that XT had, it looked like he was the tankiest person on the team, frontlining every fight, tanking all the towers before Mundo could even join the fight. It looked beautiful. Amazing charms from Arena Thunder to support all of that and get all of the damage onto the enemy team. And honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better performance from that team. I honestly saw textbook work on each and every single one of their champions. Amazing performance from Team EEK. Final
it's
thoughts?
it's hard to point out a point where they misplayed, right? I mean, there were a little bit of some iffy moments just in the very beginning of the game, but after that first invade from Kindred, it seemed like Team EEK just had it down. And, Janna went 0-0-20 with that perfect 20 KDA, which is fun to look at.
Yeah, that is very fun to look at. That's going to wrap up game number 1 of the night. Stay tuned for an interview with our winners, and we will be right back for game number 2. Don't go anywhere.
Hello folks, Chris Edgeworth here for our first interview tonight, joined by the victorious XT of Team EEK out of the jungle. How are you feeling, my man, after the win?
Oh man, yeah, it was a pretty good win, pretty solid win. I love everyone on Rex. I was looking forward to this matchup a lot, and I'm really happy we played towards our win con and our game plan. It was pretty straightforward. Honestly, I had a pretty stressful day. I had a test I needed to take for this, and then I had to do a quiz. Pretty sure I flunked both, and then I had to, I go on my computer 15 more minutes until the draft starts. I wasn't warmed up. I was pretty stressed out, and honestly, not in the best mood. But being able to play in FOF always brings a smile to my face, and I'm really happy that I got to play today and perform that well. Because honestly, I was expecting, I was in my own head.
Well, let's set the table then before we talk about this game to see just how much you'd gotten into your own head, because let's start with the draft. Interesting stuff on both sides. Irina gets her hands on the Seraphine. How does it keep happening? Someone please explain this to me. And then also you had the interesting pick of the Vi, which we're seeing come back into the meta now, especially with the matchup being against the Kindred on the other side for Rafa. Mundus in the top lane for Joey, into that meaty boy matchup on the top side, as VR is very keen for these matchups with the tanks. So talk to me a little bit about your thoughts on this draft as it shook out.
So one of the biggest things that we've recently discussed as a team is like, there's a clear level gap and skill gap between, I think, the majority of the players here on the top side, myself, Joey, and Irina, right? We're all pretty low rank. We have understanding of the game, but micro-wise, like, we do struggle a lot of stuff, myself especially. And over in the bot side, right, we have the bot lane with the biggest targets on their back, Kongzi, and now our new support, Omnipresent, who's done a wonderful job filling in, and really appreciate having her on the roster now. I think for the draft, it works both ways. We have a huge advantage because we have a huge target on the bot lane's back, but also, we have an obvious weakness where it's like we have a top side that tends to, I think, there's a lot of room for error, right? And it's not just because it's mostly usually because the other team is miles better than us, which you did kind of see yesterday when we played against CDE. So against this, we had a pretty straightforward plan. We want to force that weak side, top side matchup, and bot lane is always going to get targeted because you've seen Kongzi. Kongzi's popped off time and again, right? He's always going to want to play his most comfortable and best matchups, and if we see opportunity to pick him something that he thinks makes sense, then so be it. Drafting has been pretty selfless from a majority of the team now because it's pretty straightforward, right? We're definitely putting our eggs in one basket, right? The best player on our team, Kongzi, who does a majority of the shot calling now, and we wanted to play when he feels he's strong, right? So getting Seraphine allows us to kind of play that style, right? And Irina has an amazing champion pool to help contribute to the team, but we always feel like Seraphine's kind of the best point. No matter the matchup, right? Seraphine always kind of gives us the best chances of winning team fights and being able to play again with low risk of error, right? And I've started to pick up a pretty selfless style of jungle. Earlier this season, I was like, oh, pick me Diana, pick me Hecarim, pick me Udyr, right? I want to play all these farm-heavy junglers, but I've started to kind of go into the Malrang style, where it's you're very supportive, you're low income, you're being all over the map, you're looking for you're playing towards the best, your best players, or your the side of the map where most likely you'll be able to impact the most, right? So our drafting has definitely changed up from what we've previously had on EEK, where we're looking at mid lane carry, me carry, and ADC carry, but now we're toning it back. We have identified win con. We're playing really easy compositions, right? To kind of, balance out, we give all the difficult stuff for Kongzi to handle, because he can handle it, right? He better be, right? He's a Grandmaster, he's trying to be challenger, right? He's going to have to perform, and for us, our goal is to learn, listen, and adapt, right? And see what it works out. And we have a lot of picks that kind of help out Kongzi and help out our team, and we're all on the same page. It's been pretty great. Even though we lost yesterday, we lost as a team. We won as a team today, and honestly, it's been a pretty fun experience. So this draft, I think, really capitalizes on what we're doing to be able to increase the odds of winning, which is play simple stuff and put all the complex stuff on the guy who actually wants to play that.
Very, very good answer. Let's talk about the game itself then. The nature of this game, it seemed. Rex, of course, had their own game plan as well, and their game plan seemed to be to sort of opt out of these dragons, play more for the tempo, play to more scale into these mid-game skirmishes, where I feel like they often excel. So I think that is probably a pretty decent game plan. You want to make sure the Kindred gets some stacks on her. But in the end, they had started by giving over this dragon control on back timers. You folks were able to clean that up. I think you got the first one off of your first kill, but the second one, it was a tempo, and so it just became that as the pressure stayed on your side, you weren't making the mistakes they were most likely expecting you to make to get them to this mid game transition. They didn't have a way of stopping this dragon control at a certain point, and you folks were able to get that early soul. Talk to me a little bit about the measure and getting through to this mid game and getting such a monumental lead with this soul.
Yeah, so the thing about Rex's comp is that it felt really feast or famine, right? And there was a lot of risk, I think, going into the draft because they're all smart. They're all really smart players. They all know what they want, right? They have a lot of picks and a lot of great macro decisions always down the mental. Like one of the things that I know Rafa for is that he is super aggressive and he plays carries, right? He's been my friend for a very long time. In fact, all these guys have been my friends for a very long time. I was even their boss at some point. Like these guys, like I respect a ton, and I know like what they're willing to do to win the game, right? They have, yeah, they just have a really scary competition where like if we make one mistake in the early game, Kindred's gonna pop off, Set's gonna pop off, Zera's gonna pop off, right? They have a lot of champions that can really punish us if we have a poor execution in the early game. And I like to call this the psycho mode, right? They were like, the Kindred is, you see red in their eyes, and they're looking to invade you, they're looking to catch you off guard. And one of the great things is that Kindred doesn't benefit from full clear. She's able to kind of just do like 3 camps. All she has to do is her red buff, and then she could just like jump over the Baron wall and like go to Gromp and like get first blood because she's just gonna win that matchup, right? So back in my head, I'm just like, Kindred can appear at any time, at any place. It doesn't even matter if I skip one camp, she can appear any camp at any point. That's kind of what happened in early game. We recognize that, you know, Kindred is going to play really aggressive. Set's really going to be playing that facilitator to really set up the Kindred. So we wanted to kind of just play safe, right? And it's a boring play style, but it was the best, you know, condition for us winning. And we just had to wait for one moment where Rex had an area where, hey, Xerath is a bit overextended, and it kind of just all snowballed from there, right? One of the biggest things having Kongzi at the bot lane is that he identifies, because he knows the game so well, he's going to tell me, hey, I see an opportunity for us to capitalize, right? They're overextended, they don't have it warded. And I'm like, okay, I'll be there. And I just be there. It doesn't matter if they take all my camps. It doesn't matter if they take everything. Like, I think at this point, you know, the style jungling that I've started to play, like, what's more important is listening to the team and just playing when they feel that they're strong, because my champion really helps facilitate their strengths, right? So that's kind of the playstyle we've started to implement, and you know, we're still working on the kinks, right? This is our second game together as a team, right? We've changed our rosters 4 times. This is my 4th game with the team out of 6, right? So it's working out. I think there's a lot of room for us to get read like a book, right? And I think there's a lot of smart teams out there as well that now they see us and they're like, we know what we have to do, right? But I'm gonna keep doing my best to improve alongside like my real life factors. And you know, the reason why we really just wanted the game is that we were patient. We saw the opportunity, we capitalized on it, and from there, I recognized when I was strong as well, and I wanted to play with my strongest carry, and that's the only time you'd see me do cycle stuff. When like I'm diving under their nexus, is the only reason why is because my bot lane's there, right? Because I felt I was strong, and that's like what I'm learning and thinking about as like the jungler who I don't have mechanics, but I can at least think about the game the best I can, and you know, that's what I did.
All right. Oh, excuse me. All right, well, that is going to be it for our first interview of the night. Thank you, XT, for joining us for this interview. Before we step away, I do want to give you your last opportunity, though. Any final thoughts, any shout-outs, any banter you'd like to leave with us while you're here? I'll
try to keep this one short. No banter, because I love all the teams here, but playing FOF is honestly really wholesome and really awesome, because this is like my only escape when I'm a really busy person. I'm a full-time student. I'm also working on weekends. I don't have time to play in the game. Play a ton of games, but whenever I have the opportunity to play with like both EEK or right, it's really awesome being able to play with a group of friends and really do my best. I think my team's awesome. Joey's the GOAT. He finally has his first win. Go him. Irina's been amazing, going from playing support to playing mid for us. Been awesome. Really great for Yahtzee joining us such late notice, and really getting for her insight, and Kongzi as well, my homie since 2019. Really happy I get to finally play with him. And yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season. Good luck to everyone, and watch out for us in this come round robin. Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, folks, game 1 is in the books. We have 3 more Mythic games coming at you next. We'll be back with game 2, TDE versus YOLO.